Most traders are losing money not because of bad strategies, not because they don't know enough about the markets, and definitely not because they're not smart enough. They're losing money because of what happens in that split second just before they click that button. That moment, right before they enter a trade or right before they exit, that's where everything starts to fall apart. And in this video, I'm going to share with you one simple habit that can significantly improve your trading results. It's not sexy, it's not complicated, but I can tell you that this one habit has made more difference in my own trading than any other indicator or strategy has ever done. How's it going, guys? If you're a returning viewer, it's great to have you back. And for the folks who are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Shaun. I'm an active US equities trader. I've been trading the markets for 8.5 years, and on this channel, we talk all about trading and investing in the US stock market. So if you're interested in learning how to trade and becoming a profitable trader, consider subscribing. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Let me start off by asking you something. How many times have you entered a trade and immediately after you clicked that button, you thought to yourself that, why did I just do that? Or how many times have you exited a position and just 30 seconds later, the stock does exactly what you thought it would do, but you simply needed to hold it a little bit longer. And now you're just sitting there frustrated because you actually knew better. You had the plan, but in that moment, something just took over and you did the opposite of what you were actually supposed to do. This happens to almost all of us. And here's the thing, most traders think that the solution is to get better strategies, force yourself to be more disciplined, or learn more about price action, or find something that will magically fix everything. But that's not the actual problem. The problem is that we are moving too fast. We are reacting instead of responding. And there's a big difference between those two things. Let me explain what I mean. When you react, you're operating on impulses. You see something happen in the market and boom, you're just in. No thought, no pause, just action. And most of the times, that action is driven by emotions. Fear of missing out, fear of losing money, greed, frustration from the last trade maybe, all that stuff which is sitting there in the background, it's influencing every decision you make in the market right now. But when you respond, you're making a conscious choice. You see something happen, you process it, you compare it to your original trading plan, and then you decide what to do. That's the difference. Reacting is emotional, responding is intentional, and the space between those two things is where consistency actually lives. So here's the habit, and I want you to pay attention to this one because it's going to sound almost too simple. Before every trading decision that you make, take 10-second pause and take one deep breath. That's it. Before you enter a trade, pause for 10 seconds. Before you exit a trade, pause for 10 seconds. Before you add to a position, pause for 10 seconds. Before you move your stop loss, pause for 10 seconds. Every decision gets a 10-second pause and one deep breath. Now, I know what some of you are thinking right now. That Shaun, the market moves a bit too fast and I can't sit there for 10 seconds or I'll simply miss the move. And I get that. I used to think the same thing and I used to think the exact same way. But here's what I've actually learned. If a trading opportunity requires you to rush, it's probably not a good opportunity to begin with. Good setups give you time. They develop. They allow you to prepare. And if you feel like you need to jump in right this second, or you'll simply miss it, that's usually your emotions which are doing the talking. That's your FOMO. And FOMO is not part of your trading plan. Let me share a personal story with you. This is a few years ago now. I was going through a rough patch in my own trading, and if I'm being honest, those rough patches used to happen much more often than good times because I was still struggling with profitability back then. But anyways, I had confidence in my strategy and I knew that my strategy worked because I had seen it work many times. And I also had like these backtesting results, but for some reason I kept making these mistakes. I'd enter a trade too early, I'd take profits too quickly. A big one that costed me the most money was that I'd exit too soon if the position goes even slightly in the red without waiting for it to reach my actual stop loss orders. And the thing is, every time I did this mistake, I knew that I was making this mistake, but I just couldn't stop myself from making the same mistake over and over again. It was like I was watching myself make bad trading decisions in real time and I had no control over myself. So one time I was thoroughly reviewing my trading journal and I noticed a pattern. All my worst trades had one thing in common. I made the decisions almost instantly. No hesitation, just saw something and I simply acted. And all my bad trades, the ones where I actually followed my plan and I made some money, those were the ones where I took at least a few minutes before preparing and then waiting for the setups to actually give me the reason to enter. So I decided to test something. I put a sticky note on my monitor that said pause and breathe. That's it. Nothing too fancy, just very simple. And I made this rule for myself that no matter what, before I clicked anything, I had to read that note and take one deep breath. That's it. At first, it felt ridiculous. It felt like I was just slowing myself down for absolutely no reason. But after a week, something started to change. My impulsive mistakes started to reduce quite drastically, actually. I was catching myself before I did anything stupid, and my account also started to reflect that little bit of an improvement in my trading performance. Not because I changed anything about my strategy, but it was simply because I changed how I was executing my strategy. Here's what that 10-second pause actually does. Number one, it breaks that emotional reaction loop. When you feel that urge to jump into a trade or get out of trade, that's usually a brain in fight or flight mode. It's reacting to what it perceives as a threat. Maybe the threat is just missing out on money, or maybe the threat is losing money. Either way, our brain is trying to protect us by making us act fast. But fast decisions in trading are usually bad decisions. That 10-second pause gives our brain a chance to shift out of a reactive state into a more calm and logical state. It's like hitting a reset button on our cells, basically. Number two, it forces us to check our plan. Most traders tend to have a plan, but in the heat of the moment, they forget to actually use that plan. They see a stock moving and they just simply react. That pause gives us the time to ask ourselves, is this trade actually part of my trading plan? Does this setup meet my criteria? Am I supposed to actually be trading this right now? Those 10 seconds are your opportunity to compare what you're about to do with what you were actually supposed to do based on your trading plan. And if those two things don't match, then you simply don't have a trade. Simple as that. Number three is it builds discipline. This part is important, so pay attention to this one. Trading is not about being right. It's about being disciplined. You can have the best strategies in the world, but if you can't execute them consistently, it's absolutely worthless. And discipline is a skill. It's something you build over time by practicing it. You can't force yourself into discipline overnight. Every time you take that pause before any trading decision, you're practicing that discipline muscle in yourself. You are training yourself to simply slow down, to think, to stay in control, and over time that becomes completely automatic. You stop needing that sticky note. You stop needing to remind yourself. It just becomes part of how you actually trade and just becomes your habit. Now, let me make this really practical for you. Here's how you actually start implementing this habit. Starting tomorrow, when you sit down to trade, before you do anything, remind yourself of this one habit. 10-second pause before every trading decision. Write it down if you need to. Put it on a sticky note maybe, or maybe set it as your phone's background. Whatever works for you. Then when you're in a trade and you feel that urge to do something, just stop. Count to 10 in your head. Sheep 1, sheep 2, sheep 3, or Mississippi if you're somebody watching this from the US. And while you're counting, take one deep breath. That's it. In through the nose, out through the mouth. During those 10 seconds, ask yourself these 3 questions. Question number 1, is this actually part of my trading plan? Question number 2, am I acting on logic or emotions right now? Question number 3, what happens if I don't take this action right now? If after those 10 seconds you still believe that the decision is a right one, then simply go ahead and execute. But here's what you'll find. A lot of the times, after that pause, you'll realize that you don't actually want to make that trade, or you don't need to exit yet, or whatever you were about to do wasn't actually based out of your trading plan. It was just a reaction, and that pause has now just saved you from making a trading mistake. And I also want to be very straight up with you with this one. This habit is going to feel very uncomfortable at first. It's going to feel like you're forcing yourself to slow down when everything inside you wants to move quickly and fast. But that discomfort is actually a good sign. It means that you're breaking an old pattern about yourself. And breaking patterns is how you actually grow as a trader. You're not going to be perfect at this right away. There are going to be times when you forget to apply this habit, when you see a move and you simply jump in without thinking, and that is okay. Don't just beat yourself about it. Just notice it, write it down in your trading journal, and then simply commit to doing better the next time in your next trading session. The goal here is not perfection. The goal here is progress. Every time you remember to pause, you're getting better. Every time you catch yourself before you make an emotional decision, you're building that skill. And over time, those small moments start to add up, and they start making massive changes in your trading results. Here's the reason why this habit works so well. Most traders think that trading is about predicting what the market is going to do next. But that's just really not what trading is actually about. Trading is about managing yourself in an environment that is designed to trigger your emotions. The market doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're scared or greedy or frustrated. It's just doing what it actually does. But your emotions care. And if you let them run the show, then they're going to just cost you a lot of money. This 10-second pause is how you take back that control. It's how you separate yourself from your emotions and make decisions based out of logic and your own process. And that separation is what separates profitable traders from everybody else who's just has a trading account. Here's a common scenario for you. You're watching a stock and it just broke out, let's say, price just spiked, it's moving fast, and you feel that rush of adrenaline because you know that this move could be a really big move. Your fingers are hovering over your hotkeys, and every second you wait feels like you're missing out on that money. This is where that pause actually starts to save you, because in those 10 seconds, maybe you just start to realize a few things. Maybe the stock doesn't actually fit your criteria. Maybe you actually have already taken your max number of trades for the day. Maybe the risk-reward ratio wasn't actually that good. And now, instead of chasing a move out of FOMO, you're staying disciplined. You're letting that trade go. And 5 minutes later, you watch it reverse and trap everyone else who chased it. And instead of being the frustrated one that you lost money, you feel grateful that you stayed patient. That's the actual power of that pause. Now, let's slow down over here for a second, and I want to make sure that you completely understand this. The habit that I'm sharing with you right now is not going to make you rich overnight. It's not going to turn your losing strategy into a winning one if that's the case. And it's certainly not going to remove the hard work out of the trading that trading actually requires. But what it will do is help you execute better. And good executions is what makes us better traders in the market. You can have the best strategies in the world, but if you can't execute it properly, you're not going to make money in the markets. Most traders don't have a knowledge or a strategy problem anyways. They simply have an executions problem. And this habit helps us really just in fixing our execution problems. So here's what I want you to do next. Try this habit for 1 week, just 1 week. Every single decision you make, take that 10-second pause, count to 10, breathe, Ask yourself if this decision matches your original trading plan, and then act according to that. And at the end of the week, just go back and look at your own trading journal. Compare the week to the weeks before. And you're very likely going to see a positive difference in your own trading. Fewer impulsive trades, fewer mistakes, better executions, and you're probably going to get better results from your trading as well. Because when you slow down and give yourself permission to think, you start trading like a professional instead of reacting like everybody else does. Here's the thing, guys. Trading is hard. It's probably one of the hardest things that you can choose to do. But it's not hard because the market is complicated. It's hard because we are humans. We have emotions. We have biases. We have all these psychological patterns that work against us when we are trying to make logical decisions. And the traders who figure this out, who learn how to manage themselves in markets, those are the ones who actually succeed in the markets. Not because they're any smarter, not because they have better strategies, but it's simply because they have better habits. And the point is that this one simple 10-second habit, it's one of the most powerful habits that you can start to build and add to your trading. So there you have it, guys. This is one habit that can completely transform your trading. 10 seconds and one deep breath before every single trading decision that you make. It sounds almost too simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. And it definitely does not mean that it's not powerful. Start doing this from tomorrow. Be patient with yourself as you start building this habit and notice how your trading starts to change. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, please consider hitting the like button, as it really helps the channel with the YouTube and algorithm and all that stuff. And if you want to see more videos that could help you move forward in your trading journey, consider subscribing. And with that, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take it easy. Cheers.